What is today?
I'll start. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Babs Moss, and I'm in the Disabilities Commission. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the April
Oh.
25th meeting of the Needham Commission on Disabilities. We are
Great.
meeting a week later than normal this month to accommodate those who were away during school vacation. So thank you for being flexible. I think this works out for everyone. And I'd like to start by welcoming Lynn Rodman, who has expressed interest in becoming a member of NCOD. So she's attending our meeting to see what we do. So let's introduce ourselves to her, and then we'll get on with the rest of the meeting. I'm Jeannie Martin. I'm co-chair of NCOD.
I'm Carol Thomas, the other co-chair.
I'm Babs Moss, as you got an early welcome from me. Yes.
I'm Maureen Callahan, member.
I'm Alexa Moore, member, and I also take the meeting minutes as secretary.
I'm Karen Morales, member. I see Julie here, but I'll go. I'm Tatiana Swanson. I'm the town liaison.
Nice to meet everyone.
And I guess Officer Kelly is still trying to connect.
Officer Kelly's our public safety liaison, and Julie Muse-Fisher, who I see, but I don't know if she's on. She's the school department liaison.
Okay.
Are you here, Julie? Oh, we lost Julie.
Yeah.
Okay.
We welcome your questions and comments. So if at any time you don't understand what we're talking about or have a question about it, please speak up, Lynn. We're happy to try to be as clear as possible for you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Actually, do you want to take a minute and tell us about yourself
Sure.
and your interest in the commission?
So my name is Lynn Rodman, and I live on Manning Street, and I've lived there for a little over 32 years now. I used to be a commuter into the city and elsewhere for my job, but I retired about a year and a half ago. And I saw some things on the Needham Facebook page about, what was going on with the council. I saw the commission, and I saw some information when money was donated to the Needham Community Council, and saw that you were interested in having a new member. And so I thought I would throw my hat in the ring. I'm very interested in the topic. I myself have for 6 years, I have a neurological issue, and so I have difficulty walking, and so consider myself handicapped at this point. But I'm looking forward to hearing all the things you have in front of you. So thank you.
Great. Thank you. We will begin with a review of the minutes from our meeting in March. I hope you all had a chance to review them. Any comments, corrections from the March minutes?
No, Alexa, I just want to say thank you for sending those, because I lost my notes from the last meeting. So that was really helpful.
You're very thorough. It's of great benefit to all of us.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
So, Lynn, we used to read the minutes at the meeting, and as of several months ago now, they are distributed, and we ask people to read them on their own and then just bring up any comments or changes at the meeting. It saves us a little time, and we hope that people have the opportunity to read the minutes before coming to the meeting.
Makes
So
sense. Yeah.
that said, do I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
I make a
Yes.
motion to accept the minutes as presented.
And the second?
Second.
Great. All in favor?
Hi.
Hi.
Opposed? Wonderful. Okay. We will move on to the chairperson's report. We got, I guess it came in on the website or a phone call, I'm not sure, but we heard from a gentleman who uses a wheelchair and was concerned when he went to the new location of Langley Bicycle on Needham Street. It used to be further down, closer to,
It's Landry. It's
Landry.
Landry's, but yeah, that's, yep.
you're right, I'm sorry. I'm thinking Langley Road in Newton.
That's what I was thinking. And I'm like, that doesn't sound right. So it's Landry. Yeah.
So they used to be much closer to Newton Highlands, and they moved as of sometime in March to this new location in the little strip mall where Panera Bread is. And this fella, I've forgotten his name already. He had some issues getting into the location. There is a curb cut, but it's right, that we're looking at Landry Bicycle straight ahead.
Mhm.
And off to the left, you can see, I think it's Geico, and then further down is the Panera.
Yeah.
So that's the front of the store. Now on the left, well, actually to the right, on our left, right to the store, there's a curb cut. Go to the next slide.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Right here?
There should be another slide.
We're still
These are-
seeing the same one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I have to do a
It
new one.
shows
Share.
the oncoming traffic.
Yep, I have to.
So
do
there's a driveway between the two buildings. The building that Landry Bicycle is
Are we
in.
seeing it?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Yep.
Okay.
So this fellow was concerned that, well, the curb cut takes him directly into that oncoming traffic.
This part right here, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
If you go back one slide for a second, he thought, I'm sorry,
Okay,
can
let
you
me just see.
can you
Is
go
it this-
backwards?
Yeah, is it this one?
The wide angle, well, there's another one that shows the
Okay.
dangers that one might encounter at that
Right.
curb cut.
Right here? These are
Yeah.
the only- yeah, okay.
If you see the cone on the far right, that's a parking spot. And I was thinking, and I'm not sure, I've drawn on the expertise of David Correa from Metro West Center for Independent Living, that maybe a curb cut, you could lose that parking spot and put a curb cut there, which would be out of the line of that traffic. At
I
any
think,
rate,
though, isn't the handicap spot over by Panera? So they're expecting you to
is.
park in the handicap at Panera, go onto the sidewalk and then go straight across, as opposed to come from this part of the parking lot where the vantage point is, right?
Mhm.
yes. It's quite
I'm
a
not sure, but
distance.
I think the spot with the cone, I think that's a handicap spot.
It is not.
Sure.
It is not
Okay.
marked, but I think it could be one. It would be nice. At any rate, I went over, I took some pictures and I sent the pictures to David Correa. He was planning to go visit it because he has much more knowledge than I do about what's legal. And this, what's there now may be legal, but it's just a little hazardous. And what we might encourage the owner of the building to make a change. David then got COVID and he's been out of service for a little while. He let me know a few days ago that he is up and back at work and he hopes to go there soon. So we will be getting some more information from him about what he thinks could be done at this intersection. But I just wanted to show you general idea of what's there now and what the concern was of the person who contacted us. Any thoughts?
I mean, I think the challenge is that the Panera is busy, right? So as someone who has to use curb cuts, there are curb cuts and they're usually not ideal, but you can park and access that. The only challenge is if you park where you're taking this picture from, you're gonna have to cross traffic, but it's kind of the same. If you park in the Trader Joe's lot, not right in front of CVS, you have that same issue. If you park anywhere up the hill, you've got to like cross a lane of traffic to get to the store.
But it is a crosswalk there, right? Correct?
There, yes,
Where I had, okay.
Yeah.
Technically, that on incoming traffic is supposed to stop, you know?
Yeah. Technically, I would imagine that's to code.
Mm.
It looks like there's a stop sign there by that black car.
There is.
It does.
Mhm.
Is that the area where the incoming traffic comes in, or am I
Yes.
missing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's two-way traffic in that. If you go back to either of the other two slides, I think you can
Mhm.
see.
So there
Um,
is a stop sign there
Mhm.
before they
Mhm.
enter the,
Let me
does
see.
that make
This
it
one,
any
this one
safer?
doesn't share. Let me show you this one. There is a stop sign there.
Mhm.
But I think the concern
Is
is
that,
that the visibility is not great. So if you're going too slow or someone's coming in and not paying attention, that's definitely a risk.
yeah. Good
So
point.
hopefully in the next week or two, we'll hear from David about what he thinks about it. I have talked to the citizen who was concerned, and I told him I would get back to him as soon as I could. And he was very appreciative that we were even looking into it. So I just wanted to share that with you.
Yeah, that's nice.
When people call, I mean, do they say where they found it? Do they say, I saw it on your website, or do they say, I saw it? And how they knew even about the commission?
Tatiana, maybe you can help me remember. I think this came in on the website, didn't it? As someone,
No, I got a call from the owner or the manager of the
oh,
store.
that's right.
For Landry's bicycle, because he had a customer that came in that had mobility issues that had pointed out
Oh, yeah.
curb cut
Okay,
wasn't at the right
okay.
angle. And he said, I don't know what to do. Maybe we should call the property manager to see if they can do something about it. So that's where I brought it to the commission.
That's
Okay.
nice. That's nice that
Good
he
for
even
him
called.
for calling.
Yeah, exactly.
No, he totally was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know the building, I don't know the street. So we were,
Right.
he was trying to figure out how to address it.
Okay, so hopefully I'll have an update next month on some suggestions, if any, from Metro West.
Mhm.
The accessible trails, I think some of you were able to visit some trails, and I'd love to hear from you about what you found.
Mhm.
Okay.
Maureen and I went with our sons. We had a nice double date. It was
It
really
was very nice.
very nice. My non-talkative teenager decided that Maureen was his best friend and talked her ear off the whole time, which was an interesting plot twist. We took pictures. I mean, it was a nice rail trail. It was flat. It had some seats. It had some signs along the way. There's like an interesting idea about possibly co-sponsorships if we needed more money to do any like interesting features. They had, some boards sponsored by different local companies and a little seating area. You could also add like a little area to do calisthenics. Connecting to the parking lot would be kind of important because this particular rail trail was like actually not really accessible to get to and from the parking lot. It was kind of a disaster.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. There was also some good picnic tables that had the ability to do summer shades over them, which was kind of interesting. And there was a place where you could like roll up or like put a stroller at the table, which was kind of nice. Other than just the fixed areas. Anything else, Maureen? What else did you like?
I liked that it was paved and not like the
Yeah.
sort of crushed gravel. I thought that was easier for anyone that was going to be going in a wheelchair or a bike or a stroller or anything actually. So it had the line down the center. So it was easy for you to know you're staying to the right, there was no question about, it's two-way traffic. So I thought that was a good safety measure that they put in. And I liked those, Karen, I like those little, I can't even think of the name. I don't even know what you call them, but little areas that were carved out on the sides where you could sort of just go off and just take like a break, and you weren't getting in anybody's way because your kid needed to stop or you were tired or you wanted a drink or whatever. There were these little areas that you could sort of cut off, and they were like kind of stone benches. So you could kind of take a little respite. And there were some nice scenic views there too. Ponds and water, and also they made a nice boards of, this is what you're looking at. Basically, this is, the waterway that you're looking at and the history and everything. That was pretty well done.
What town was this?
Natick.
Natick, okay. Great. Thank you. You said you took some pictures.
I did, and I realized I didn't get them off of my cameraman's phone, so I can send them after. My son took all the pictures and he
Can
didn't-
those be posted after on?
Yeah,
No, I'm asking Tatiana, are we allowed? Or they have to be shown as part of the meeting?
I can get him to send them to me right now and I can put them in a slide. Just give me 2 seconds.
Oh, great.
But they can be posted afterwards, right, Tatiana? There's no,
But we can share them. They just can't be any discussion in the
We
email.
can't discuss them.
No.
Okay,
Yes, people can have them, just no discussion.
okay.
We can send them out, but.
I don't know that the pictures are gonna be that exciting for you guys. Like, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna tell a different story, but I will get them before the meeting's over.
but
And
one of
Carol?
the key takeaways, right, was this business about the parking lot, making sure that there's a way to get from the parking lot to the trail. That's
Yeah,
was
and
important.
having areas to rest, I thought was nice, like
Yeah.
little seating areas. And then there's probably, we took some pictures of some interesting ways that if we can't get the development company to like pay for what we want to do, there was some interesting ways to do fixed feature
Sponsorships. And
sponsorships in a way
Yeah.
that didn't look like a cheesy billboard, but was sort of like integrated into the experience that could be nice.
Great, okay. And Babs and I were supposed to go to Framingham, but I could not for the life of me find the Framingham Trail, accessible trail, so.
Yeah, maybe
You-
this month we can do it. I apologize, I've been busy.
Yeah,
Um,
well, we don't know where to go yet, so once we
Well,
figure it out.
I had mentioned that to David and he was going to give me that information and I'll have to remind him that we still need that.
Yeah, I mean, we could go
Okay.
find another trail to go to, but I looked on there, all the town information, and there were a number of trails, but none of them seemed accessible. So,
Okay. And Alexa and I have not yet done our visit either, so we'll have more to report next month.
Okay,
Good.
I will email you, Carol.
Okay.
For a day.
right, but we need to figure out where to go first, but I'm all,
Okay,
it'll be fun, I know, once we figure it out.
okay.
So I guess we'll just continue to collect information and ideas and share it at our next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
let's move on to ADA liaison report.
So before we move on, I wanted to just, I do have somewhat of an advocacy request. We have a resident on Greendale Ave, who resides there on Greendale Ave, and she has certain sensitivities to noise and construction work in general. And so a long time, I think it was last year, Karen, I think it was you that put the request
Yeah,
for
I
a
had
new
some.
phone.
Oh, yeah.
So, as you all know, the town is unable to use funds, public funds to purchase anything for any individual. And the town is once again doing construction work around her house, which causes noise and other problems. And she has requested a stronger measure of noise canceling earphones. So I don't know if that's something that we could put out again for.
What if we just gave her earplugs to wear under the noise, the earphones? I just flew a red eye back from, no? So
I'm happy to suggest it.
I did a red eye on Sunday night back from the West Coast and had earplugs in, and I didn't even hear that there was a medical emergency on the plane while we were flying.
Oh, no.
Like we landed and they're like, wait for the stretcher. I'm like, what? They're like, there was a medical emergency. I'm like, I slept through that. These earplugs are good.
So you put earplugs under your regular.
Yeah, they gave me like the big like round earphones, and they also had earplugs, and I didn't want to listen to anything. I just wanted to sleep. So I put earplugs underneath like Bose noise canceling headphones and slept through the medical emergency like a baby.
I
That's
will
good
certainly.
to know.
Yeah.
And those, I mean, you could get a bag of earplugs that are disposable probably for like 10
Yeah.
bucks. Like I'll buy the woman $10 earplugs if that's gonna.
I didn't even occur to that. I can run across the street to Walgreens and see if they have any and suggest that. And I'll let you know.
Tatiana,
Yeah.
we have a whole bunch at the station that we use for the shooting range for the guns.
Oh, that's great.
So they're orange, they're especially loud for gunshots. And if she wants, she can wear those under the other 2 headphones that I already gifted to her that one day last year.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna
Is she
take.
willing to wear them? That's the whole thing. Or she just
Yeah.
asking for a nice pair? I don't know.
She said of her choosing. I said, I don't know that I can make that happen.
Yeah.
But
They
that's
say
a
we're
good
able to
suggestion.
provide, firearms grade disposable earplugs.
I think that's a great suggestion. I'll take you up on it if you don't mind, Officer Kelly.
Yeah.
I'll find a way to get it to her at some point.
Yeah, she doesn't answer her door. She's kind of a, I want to say like a hermit in a way.
Yeah,
So
but
you
I-
just kind of leave packages on her door handle,
Okay.
you know.
No, that's great. So yeah, definitely. I appreciate that. I am actually in Boston this week for the training, but
Mhm.
I'll check in with you on Friday, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'm off on Friday.
Or you are.
So just
Monday.
let me know when and I can deliver it to her house on Monday morning.
Perfect. Okay.
If
Thank
she
you so
wants.
much. I really appreciate
No
it.
problem. Mhm.
Tatiana, before you go ahead, I just wanted to backtrack 1 minute and explain to Lynn an introduction about the accessible trails. I don't know if you're aware of what we're talking about, but the Muzzy Ford project is part of the building that's going there. They have promised to put in an accessible trail, and we are visiting trails in other towns to come up with some ideas that we can suggest to them, that when this gets built, which is still 1 to 2 years away, we wanted to have some concrete examples of things that we think they should include. So we are going out and visiting trails in other towns.
Yeah, that's nice. I love the accessible trail that you have near the reservoir. It's nice.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes, that one's a nice one.
Okay, now back to Tatiana.
Okay, so we met internally for the first time on the ADA self-evaluation and transition plan. A draft of the report has been provided, though it is not yet available to the public. It is quite a lengthy report. It is pretty detailed, I have to say. And it includes findings on some of the things operationally the town can do, as well as physical alterations to buildings and the outside of certain schools and open spaces. So I don't want to go into too much detail, but there is, quite a number of suggestions of things that the town has to change or should change in order to make it more accessible, in order to make the town more accessible, not only in its operations, but in its access to buildings and programs. There are divided by priority. So there's like priority 1, things that you should really be putting on the top of the list, all the way to number 4, which is sort of an ideal enhancement or alteration. The question in front of the town right now, it's how do we approach it, and what is the timetable, and what are going to be the responsible departments. So we just met to kind of figure out exactly how we plan to start sort of digging at this and figuring out who does what and how we can go about the funding for some of the changes, and categorize it into, what's a quick and easy fix. For example, something quick and easy is that one of the suggestions is that my name as the ADA liaison should be on the town's main page rather than, buried on the commission's website. And that the way to contact me for any questions, complaints, concerns, anything like that should be in the main page of the town. So that's a quick fix, right? That's something that we can do fairly easy. Raising the pitch on a curb or lowering the pitch on a curb, it's more intensive, right? Putting accessible porta potties in every park, it's something that it's going to take more time. So those, where we're at right now is we need to get together again with the consultant, the Institute for Human Design, who, by the way, put on a wonderful presentation about how other towns have gone about implementing a self-evaluation and transition plan. What are some of the the challenges, the barriers that they've overcome, and how they approached it. So I was lucky enough to catch that presentation. But as a first step, we're going to get together back with them to go over the report and understand, what the recommendation is on how the town is going to start thinking about implementing some of the changes. Of course, we believe the MODs, the Commission on Disabilities is also going to play a part in at least, advising the town on some of the things that we're planning to change with regards to the self-evaluation and transition plan. So I will keep you informed of any other developments as it relates to this program. Any questions on that? Not that I have a lot to offer, but more to come.
Great.
Karen inquired about the snow shoveling program, in which I think it was the Public Housing Authority had implemented or had offered a program in which they would pay their volunteers to shovel out the homes
Cars.
to people, elderly, right? Was it elderly and disabled people?
Yes.
Yeah. And so we were wondering if something like that could be duplicated or mimicked in Needham. Turns out that the Youth and Family Services Department had a plan going like that a few years back, but with COVID and the lack of snow, it really hasn't been very popular. And what they will do is that they were pairing, high school kids, middle school kids with people who had requested these services, either the elderly or disabled, and they will get I think they will get some community credits or something like that. But Sarah said Sarah Shine is the director of the department. She said she's happy to talk to us about it if we wanted to promote it, revive it, mimic, sponsor it in any way. And so we have an initiative to talk in the fall again, so we can start up that conversation and maybe get that program going again. So thank you for that suggestion, Karen, because she's like, yes, probably a good idea to start, offering that again.
Alexa?
Question.
Yeah.
One of the things that we talked about, I think last time also, is whether it could be expanded to sort of light seasonal yard work if things like that are needed. Did the prior program include any of that, or was it purely the snow
It
removal?
was purely snow removal. And
Okay.
somebody mentioned cars. I didn't even ask about cars. In my mind, it was all about driveways and pathways. But I can certainly ask, is that the idea, that we also wanted to offer up some light yard work and some other?
I think that we talked about that at the last meeting, just to see if that would be helpful as well.
I believe the high school has a list already for the students to help for community hours. And it is light yard work along with the snow removal and probably other things. But they do have some kind of list at the high school.
So how does a person get on that list to say, hey, if I would like some help around the house? How do they contact that? How do they?
I think the senior center might even have a list going.
The senior center.
know,
has.
Yeah.
And so is the senior center pair up with the high school? Julie, do you know anything?
Yes.
about this?
Yeah, they're in close contact with the high school. The high school kids are there all the time volunteering.
Yeah, and this just came up in one of our meetings today. I think that if I can get more information from our folks at the high school and share it out with the group, but it sounds like just like what Kelly is saying is that there are a lot of students who want to get the community service hours, and there's a list and connect with different community groups. I'll find out a little bit more and pass it along.
Great.
So I think if anything, it may need bit of more marketing and promotion, because the few of us that were here at last meeting, we weren't aware of this. We're kind of wondering if the town has something like the Needham Housing Authority. And if not, could we get something going, which is why I started with Sarah Shine.
It probably could go in that weekly newsletter we get from the town, maybe it could be advertised that way.
Mhm. Okay. So Julie, if you can get me any information about that program, and I'll also contact the director of Council on Aging to see what they have so far and if there's any way for us to promote it.
Sounds
Okay.
good. And just so I can get as good of information as possible, we're looking for high school students who can help with any type of work around the house in terms of yard work, snow removal, that kind of stuff. Is that?
Well, I think I'm actually looking to understand what the program is about. How do they find people that need these services? And, how do they pair them up with the high school? And then how can we promote this program? Because I'm not sure, Karen had seen this from a Facebook page from the Needham Housing Authority and had questioned whether the town had something like that. So like I said, a lot of us weren't aware this was something already in the works.
Okay, so I don't know anything specific about that, but I do know that our high school students would be willing to do some of this type of work in the community, like as part of their community service. So let me get some more information, then I'll share it out.
Thanks, Julie.
I'll check
Sure.
with the school resource officer also, because we have a lot of diversion community service outreach programs too, so maybe we can get that list with them too.
That's perfect. If we don't have to recreate the wheel, that's amazing. We can just help promote it. And then finally, the town has made an offer to a new building commissioner with a start date on June 20th. I haven't been in the office, so I don't know if the person has accepted the offer, so I can't reveal their name. But that's a lot of progress for us. So they'll start, if everything goes well and they accept the offer, it's going to be June 20th. And as soon as I confirmed that they accepted the offer, I'll reach out to see if they can join us for maybe the September meeting or the October meeting for an introduction.
Great.
That's all I have.
Did you have something about playground, or we could then discuss that later?
Oh, I did. The only thing I had is Karen asked me to check in with the director of Park and Recreation regarding that, the status of the open space planning and the use of the grant that Karen had found that, she referred the director to. Director is very well of it. Unfortunately, lack of resources in her own department. She's been having some staffing deficiencies, have prevented her from pursuing the opportunity further, but it is on our radar. And I shared that response with Karen.
Okay, thank you, Tatiana. We'll move on to committee reports. And Julie, are you going to be presenting a grant tonight or not?
Yes, would you like me to start with that or just give some updates?
Either way, however you want to do it.
Okay, I can just do some quick updates in terms of school department where we are right now. So this phase of the year, we're just in the midst of our hiring for next year, planning. We're doing a lot of work around our summer programming. We are working with Parks and Rec and other NCE, a group called the Summer Bridge, which is part of Needham Public Schools, which is a elementary academic support program, summer enrichment, as well as our extended school year programming for students with IEPs who qualify. We're doing a lot of work to try to support students. Most of the programming is going to be at Newman Elementary this year, except for the high school, which is always operates out of Needham High School. so that's a big focus right now. And then just kind of wrapping up the year, it's been a tough year in terms of staffing, which someone just mentioned for another agency, but we are getting there, 8 weeks left. And I don't know if there's any other major updates. Our unified track and field program has started, which is each season we have a sports program for individuals with disabilities to participate in. We have basketball in the winter, track and field in the spring, and I can't remember what it was in the fall. I don't know, but it is a great program. We play neighboring towns during the basketball season. We played Natick and Newton, and the kids have a great time. So track and field season has started both at Pollard Middle School and the high school. So those are some quick updates. Did anyone have any questions or other questions that I might not have touched on? But other
Well,
things?
last month we talked about whether there was a need for these Chromebooks and tablets
Laptops, yeah,
Mhm.
tablets.
that the council seems to have access to. Do you know if we need to connect those two? or-
Well, I'm very interested in connecting with the council. I wanted to talk to my head of technology first, just to see what might be involved in getting devices from another agency. I don't know what the rules are around that. I know for my department right now, the special education department is purchasing iPads for students who require touch chat as an assistive augmentative communication device. And we're seeing more and more students come in and relying upon their iPad as their form of communication. So somebody in this group had emailed me some information, so I haven't had a chance to reach out yet, but I certainly will. I was grateful to get that information.
Okay.
In the meantime, we're just purchasing the devices and the touch chat licenses for students right now.
Great.
And then for the grant proposal, I don't know what would be helpful. Tatiana, has everyone seen it already? The materials that I submitted in January?
I don't believe they have in share. I did send them to the chairs, but let me just double check.
Okay.
Not, I can put them up for you, Julie.
Yeah, we
Okay.
could probably pop them up now, would be helpful.
Okay, 1 second. So I'm gonna start with the application sheet.
Okay. And you know what I'll do is I'll just give a little background and then kind of speak to the specific grant application for this year. So we have a program called the Intensive Learning Center. It's a specialized program for students who have autism, intellectual impairments, communication impairments, or other developmental delays. The program runs pre-K up through the high school. It's a really amazing program for students, and it's a wide range of student needs. We have some students who spend the majority of their school day in their general education classroom with their neurotypical peers. And then we have other students who spend the majority of the day in the specialized ILC classroom. Since I've been in Needham, the program has grown. It was 38 students. Well, the year after I started, 38 students in the program, and projected for next year, we have 52 students. So we're definitely seeing a growth in terms of students moving in to the district, students who are in Needham, who are being identified as needing the services and supports. We basically support all areas of need: academic support, social, emotional, pre-vocational. Once students get up to upper middle school and high school, we do a lot of community outings, activities of daily living, a lot of support around communication, occupational therapy, physical therapy. We hired an adaptive physical education teacher who works in the program. So it's a phenomenal program. It just keeps growing. We have one classroom at Pollard Middle School right now. We're projected to have an increase in students join the middle school. And so this specific request is to help furnish the classroom. We've identified space at Pollard. It's going to be a really nice setup with the current classroom. There's a middle room, which is kind of like a sensory room with space for students to take movement breaks and do PT, OT, things like that in the space. And then the next room is going to be adjoining. So all 3 spaces will be adjoining. And we're hiring additional staff to support the cohort. So the request is for, some things dividers to set up. A lot of times we do programming with the principles of ABA, which is applied principles, applied behavioral analysis, and working with students in one-on-one setting. So it's a student and the teacher, or a student and their teaching assistant. So the dividers are really nice. I wish I had some pictures to show. And then a lot of these other things are just kind of sensory tools, things to work with the students on activities during break times. The kids love all of these things. When we opened the classroom, when I first started, the program did not exist yet at Pollard. The kids were all much younger, and now we're having a cohort that's moved up. So through the NCOD grant, you've provided support for the first classroom at Pollard with some of these materials. Last year, you provided support to the Needham High School classroom that just opened, which is phenomenal. Right now we hired a new teacher last year for the classroom. So the trajectory is just going to keep going. We have incoming students and moving up through middle and high. So we've been very grateful for the NCOD grant funds to help kind of just set up these classroom spaces and provide some of these sensory tools and yoga balls, mats, things like that for students. So that's the gist. I think the total amount with all of these comes to about 2,200. So that was the amount of the request. Oh, sorry, no, 3,000.
Julie,
So-
can I ask you a question? This is for the Newman School?
This is for Pollard Middle School.
Pollard,
Oh, we're opening up a second classroom. Yeah.
Pollard. And the first request you brought to us was for Pollard as well, right?
Yeah. So that was the very first. I'm
Yes.
losing track. But that was the first year. And then last year, our director, you guys all know Trish Mullen, and she made the request for the new classroom at the high school. And then now we have a big influx of middle schoolers rising up next year. So we're opening that second classroom.
At Pollard, right?
Yeah.
How many kids are in the program at Pollard now?
We have 6 right now. We have 9 for sure next year. At one point earlier in the year, it was projected to be closer to 12 or 13. It's always a moving target. Over the summer, we have move-in students. Sometimes students move out, but right now we're looking at 9 students for sure.
So are we your only source of funding, that the school department is not able to provide any of these items to you?
No, so these are things that we would purchase. I would probably have to go through and pare down a lot of things that we might not be able to purchase right now, just given some of the budgetary constraints, but things that were absolutely necessary, like the dividers and things like that, would have to be purchased through the special education budget. So it just kind of offsets.
And the PTC, have they offered to purchase anything for you, the parent teacher?
No, we have tapped
Thank
into the
you.
PTC in the past for some items. I have not brought this request. I certainly can. And I don't want it to seem like the school district is relying too heavily on NCOD. So I definitely understand if it's not approved this time. So I just submitted it
No,
once I
I
knew that.
mean, also to help. I just meant also
Yeah.
to help embellish. And I was thinking about
Um,
that for the iPads too, that they could help. I used to be a PTC co-president, and
Oh, awesome.
so
Yeah, I think
we did that routinely.
okay, that's good to
help
know. I
out.
think I need to remember to check in. I know that principals often think about their PTCs, but I don't as often think about partnering with them, but that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Tatiana, what is the balance in our account right now?
I don't have it right off the bat, but we are able to cover this, if that's what you're asking.
I think we should.
I am certainly in support.
Yeah, I second it.
Just stop my share here.
I third it.
I think we need,
Need a motion.
don't we need to vote without Julie in the room?
Yeah, I
Okay,
I think so.
No, we have to kick her out.
where should I go? Do you want me to log off for a little bit, then
I don't
come
know.
back? I'm happy to do that. I'll
We
check
could
back
wait
in.
till the end to take the vote and then
Right.
There you
do
go.
it that way.
That's what I was thinking.
Any additional questions? It
No, it's
feels
wonderful
really
what you
good to
do.
be able to do something like this.
Yep.
for the
Yes,
children
it's
of
very important.
Needham.
Yeah, you know what, next time I'll try to bring some pictures of the space set up and, you know, just so you can get a sense of how wonderful it really is, because I don't know, it's when I go in to visit at Pollard, what you guys were able to support, the setup is really phenomenal, and they're doing such great work. I recently visited an out of district program, and the setup there was so similar. We were able to replicate and out of like the setting and the services and the level of support for kids because of some of these things that just take it to that extra level and really make it so that students have all of these resources available to them within the classroom setting, and not hand-me-downs and not things that are falling apart, but like really good quality things that are used all day and all year, because all of these students qualify for extended school year and come to our summer programs too. So Needham Public Schools is very grateful for all the support, and I appreciate your time getting to present this tonight.
Great.
So Jeannie, we'll vote on this at the end after we, I mean, I think that makes
Looking
sense.
to
that Julie can-
Tatiana for guidance. Do we need to do it that way?
I don't believe so. You can certainly request a motion right now. And vote
Okay.
on it.
Let's do it now then.
Okay.
Yeah. So in
I
the
make
past,
a
you know, when we've had other people, just so everybody knows, in the past, when we've done it like this, we will consider the motion and then vote at the next meeting. But I think it sounds like most people, everybody's in favor, so I think you can take a motion now. You can entertain a motion now,
Okay.
but we'll need someone to request a motion.
I move to approve the grant request.
You move to vote.
To vote. Yes, I move to vote.
Thank you.
On the grant.
If we need a second, there you go.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and now we need a motion to approve it? Is that correct?
No, you voted to approve it, so it's approved.
Oh, I thought we were moving to vote on it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, you get a motion to vote. It's approved, and then you're gonna, now you take a vote.
I thought you
guess.
said next meeting. I thought that's what you said, Tatiana, that we.
No, I said that in the past we've done it
Often,
that
that's what we
way.
do.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But since it sounds like people are in favor, the chair could entertain a motion now.
so I am entertaining a motion to vote on whether we should approve this grant proposal.
And because you're on Zoom, Jeannie, you kind of have to call out every member and ask them for their vote.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Is this new?
It's
Yeah,
not,
I
you
never know.
just haven't been doing
You
it.
just haven't been doing it. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I was gonna
Between
say,
Zoom and Robert's
I don't
Rules of
remember
Order.
doing this
so-
before.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to, because we're on Zoom, you have to call out every member and ask.
Yeah,
them for-
and ask about abstentions too.
So
So Jeannie, just start calling out members and being, like Carol, how do you vote?
I vote yes. I'm in support.
Debs,
I vote yes.
Tatiana,
I don't think she votes.
Yes, I don't really get a
Okay.
vote, but
She
yes,
doesn't
you
get a
do.
vote. Even that I know.
I'm
Um,
not, I've never been clear on that. I
Can we
tried to
clarify
I think
that?
you are
for
a voting
voting.
member.
Yeah, that the other liaisons are not, but that you are giving your
Yeah.
consent. Yeah.
Yeah,
Maureen,
Yes.
Alexa,
Yes.
Karen,
yes.
and I'm not sure who the telephone guest is.
I think that's,
That's lit.
yeah,
It's not Felix.
no,
Okay,
it's Officer Kelly, I think.
okay. So it has passed.
Yes.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it.
You're very
Um,
welcome.
I was planning to stay until the end of the meeting unless there's any reason I shouldn't, but I was just gonna continue to stay
Yep.
for the rest of the updates.
We'd
Okay.
Love to have you stay.
Thank you so much.
Great. Okay, on to accessible parking.
So Felix isn't here, and he's the one that's coordinating that now. So I don't know that we have any updates, but he does. I happened to talk with him 2 weeks ago. He has a lot of thoughts and ideas on this, and I know that we will be hearing a lot from him shortly on the topic. So I don't know if there's anything else to share at this time since he's not here.
Officer Kelly, any observations from you?
I have nothing new. Now I want to go back to that Landry Bikes and check it out, but nothing new as of now.
Okay, thank you. Diversity initiative.
So I can do.
Sorry, on the parking study,
Yep.
the town did complete a parking survey. Did everyone see that? There was a parking
Yes.
survey and a
Yep.
parking study.
I filled mine out.
I believe there are
Filled
some.
it out.
Yes, I have not had a chance to view the presentation, even though I've heard it's riveting. But but if anyone has a chance, I do believe that there might be some accessible parking addressed in there as well. But yeah. Oh, and also I wanted to remind people, we did send out a survey to another survey out.
Yeah.
Yes, if
About
you guys have a chance to complete that, that will be great. Oh, and then lastly, sorry, things are coming back to me. Those of you whose membership ends on June 30th of this year should have received something from the Office of the Town Manager.
Yep, Jeannie and I are all over that one. So Felix has sent his in, and I think Alexa's is in progress.
Perfect, thank you so much.
Okay, so next is Needham Diversity Initiative, which I can report on Felix's behalf. I did, when I talked with him about re-upping for another 3 years, I think he's sort of taken on more than he is able to do. And so his passion and his, skill is really around, building and he wants to work with the handicap accessibility. And so he is no longer able to be our liaison to the Needham Diversity Initiative. So if anybody else would like to pick that up, or perhaps when we get a new member, that person could be the focal point, I'm happy to cover in the interim. So just putting it out there if anybody is so moved. But there's a lot of events that are coming up. I don't know if anybody had the opportunity to attend. There was a book talk last night, The Wounded World, about World War I. A Needham resident and author, Chad Williams, gave a talk. There is another book club coming up, book discussion on May 11th, the Rough Sleepers book. All this is on the Needham Diversity Initiative website. And then we talked last time about Race Amity Day, what the term amity meant. So that celebration will be June 11th, if people would like to attend. And then last but not least is the Needham Diversity Summit on November 5th. So, and I think it would be terrific to connect with them to make sure that we are represented at the Diversity Summit. So that is what I've got to share on that topic.
Good.
Carol, do you need someone to reach out to them about getting us on the November agenda? Felix isn't going to continue, or?
Yeah, so I don't know when they're doing the planning for that. I mean, I'm sort of on the email list, so I see all the things sort of come through. But if anybody would like to reach out to connect with them when they're putting together, the talks or the workshops. Manny Iyer did, I think, a workshop that was very well received a few years ago.
Who is your contact there?
So I happen to know Rebecca Drell, so she's the person that I usually reach out to. But I could figure it out and reach out to somebody unless somebody else would like to do that.
I was just asking, and then also wondering if we need to propose a topic, right? If we need to think about what topic we want to cover, or if that.
Yeah, I don't know. So let me connect with what the timeline is for them putting together the workshops for that. The other thing that we've done, in the past when it was in person, let me just see what it says, if it's going to be in person or hybrid. So it's actually going to be at Pollard, which I think will be a return to the in-person summit because they've been on Zoom in the past. But we've had some pamphlets, they have some tables and for community awareness about different programs. And so we've had some brochures that we've distributed, in the past. So at a minimum, I think we should be present or represented. So, but I'll check in with them about the workshops and the timeline.
Great. Local Emergency Planning Committee.
I went to that meeting this month, and the focus of it was like a animal emergency response. And it talked about how you have to evacuate animals during a disaster, a flood or something like that. And they talked about Katrina and all that, and how there are different categories and different rules. You need to evacuate and shelter service animals. Assistance animals do not qualify. So they get sheltered very differently. They all get in crates. They go to like a separate location, but they make a very concerted effort to evacuate and shelter service animals with their person or their family. And there's a whole mass animal response team that is responsible for doing this and trained. And it was just one of the things that they're very careful about doing. It's important for people who need their service animal, but also it's also not something I thought about, but it's a danger because they guarantee people will not leave their animals. And if their animals were accidentally not evacuated, people will go back. People will put themselves in harm's way to get to their animals. So it's really important when they're evacuating that they evacuate animals at the same time, because it becomes a dangerous situation. So that was interesting to learn about. But but that was pretty much the whole focus of that meeting. So
Interesting.
they're pretty brief. Yeah, it was.
Great.
I know we're running out of time, so I can jump into the sorry, there's one more.
And we have plenty of time, actually. We're not sure.
Okay. But that was it for that meeting. It was really kind of brief, and that was very focused on the, evacuating animals, service animals, and that kind of thing.
Okay, and now to the Autism Alliance training program.
Well, there's playground initiative with Park and Rec, but is that from earlier? Or is this something separate? I see E is playground initiative with Park and Rec. Or was that covered earlier?
Oh, sorry. Karen, did you have anything to add?
No, that was just the update that Tatiana gave. I guess it has kind of got put on the back burner.
Okay.
Okay. And then with the Autism Alliance training program, I don't have much to report because I've reached out to them a couple of different ways and a couple of different times and have gotten no response. So I'm going to keep at it. They have big on their website. I went and looked it up, and there's all these companies that they list out that have taken place in this welcome training is what they're calling it. And seemingly a lot of companies that have already gone through their training. And so it sounds great, but I asked them some questions about it and asked them about the cost and all that kind of stuff. And I just haven't heard back. So I don't unfortunately have much to say. I was thinking
go ahead.
It is something we would want to promote. Is it something we would want to, if it sounds good and if it sounds like the cost is reasonable, is it something we would want to kind of advocate for local businesses to undertake this training or participate in the training?
Yeah, it seems like the first step is to make sure places are aware of the training. And then once we find out the costs, that possibly we can offer this as, I mean, this could be a grant proposal, I would think, that this would be a good use of our funds to say, if we would encourage you to do this and we can pay for the training if your store or restaurant is willing to participate.
Yeah. Or if it's a hardship, sort of act like, if you need us to, but it would be nice if the stores or restaurants would cover the cost. But if they couldn't, then I think it's nice. I don't know, maybe we just want to offer it outright. I don't know, but I have no sense of the cost of it. So I just need to get that information from them. And hopefully I called again this afternoon, hoping I might catch somebody. I didn't. And I told them where I was calling from here, from this commission. And we were very interested in learning more about this and want to put the word out there. But I don't know. I don't know if it's just a real shoestring operation or what it is, but
Mm.
they haven't been very
I think our
responsive.
key obstacle is going to be making people aware that this even exists.
Yeah,
And, you know, as we struggle with a lot of other issues that we deal with, you know, marketing, PR is key. And I know, Karen, you've always been good at this. I mean, it seems like we really should let the town businesses know about this. I mean, I think it sounds terrific.
yeah. I
But
wondered
it-
if the chamber would put something in. In fact, I think they
Ah.
would. The Chamber
Yeah,
of Commerce.
I think he would too. And that guy that does the Facebook restaurant posts, I had asked him another question. There was somebody
Oh,
was looking
Glenn.
for- yeah, he was super. So he got back to me in like 3 minutes.
Oh,
And
okay.
I didn't ask about this because you guys said to wait, but I had a friend looking for a chef and I was like, do you know any chefs looking for a job? He was like, no, but he like wrote me a lot of information quickly. So I feel like he'd be all over it.
That's true. That could be a
He's
good way
super
to.
responsive. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So when we get the information, I think those are two good ways of perhaps promoting it and, you know, just hopefully
He
getting.
seems to have, direct contact to all the restaurant owners and he's probably
Definitely.
faster
Yeah,
than
I think so
chamber.
too. That's what it sounds like from the way he posts. So that's all I have to say. I'll keep plugging away. I'll keep trying to get somebody to return my phone calls or my emails, and hopefully I'll have something more to report next month.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Maybe if you finally do get a hold of someone, maybe they would want to join our meeting and present it to all of us. So may we all have a better understanding of it, and then maybe we're better able to reach out to the community to explain what it is.
So would you like me to offer that and give them?
Well, what do you all think? Would we want them to attend a meeting?
I just want, because I don't know anything about this, I just want to make sure they're not up, because you did mention in your meeting that they do charge. So are they like a business or is this an initiative? Like, do we know if they're not for non?
It's a nonprofit. It's an autism. It's called Autism Alliance of Metro West.
Okay.
Is the name.
So if they're a nonprofit, that's fine, but if they're a business, we probably don't want to promote them. Yeah.
And this,
I mean, I
you
think they're
can't
charging
literally
probably just enough to cover the costs of doing the trainings is my sense.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a money maker for them necessarily. I think it's just a break even. But I'll ask.
I'm assuming they have other projects they're working on also, or is this their main focus? The autism.
I think this is the one that's really gotten a lot of, it's gotten press, it's gotten in the Globe, so it's certainly, but there are other things they do. It's workshops for families and parents and people like that. So I think they're an advocacy group, a support, providing supports to families and people with autism.
That's why I think it would be important for us to connect with them, maybe during a meeting, so we learn the
breadth of what they offer.
What they do, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll see if somebody would be available to come and present.
Okay.
And if they can't, I'll at least get as much information as I can to present at the next meeting, and we can figure out our next steps.
Okay, and Felix had some thoughts on working with the building inspector, and we'll hold that until he can join us, hopefully next month.
Do we know what that means?
Yeah, he just wanted to partner, with them in terms of, as it relates to the handicap parking and accessibility. And that's, part of what his training is. So
Does he mean the new building commissioner or the current one?
I think just in general, I assume the new one, but he just had some thoughts about how we could partner, with them in general. So, and he can articulate more about it. Hopefully next meeting.
Go ahead, Jenny.
I was just gonna ask about new business.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention also that we did receive a thank you note from the community council on the grant awarded to them for the 3 light wheelchairs. I don't know if anyone has going over the website, but we finally got the picture to work.
Right.
Saw that. I saw
yeah.
it. Nice.
And so we got a very nice, lovely thank you letter, which I will be reading at the next meeting because I did not go back to the office today after my training, so I don't have it with me. I apologize.
Yes, thank you, Maureen, for taking the lead on that. That was really great.
Oh, you're
Yep.
welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad that worked out.
Yeah, I thought that was brilliant. And I think that we should continue the tradition, as we go forward, just to sort of highlight the things that we're, not only contributing to the community, but also to generate more interest in us as a commission and in the work that we do.
Right. It would be
Um,
great to get a picture, Julie, of the new
Yes.
classroom when it's set
Exactly.
up. That would be an
Mhm.
awesome picture
Yeah.
to have the student, if students could be in it. If not, I know there's some issues with confidentiality, but it would be even with teachers.
Yeah,
just-
I'll actually get a picture of the current space, and then next year when it's set up in the fall, I'll submit a new one. I think that's a great idea.
I could probably get Rocket, the dog, the community service
can make
dog,
a
'cause
visit.
he's very active in the
yeah.
autism. Yes, I can get him there for the photo too.
That would be awesome. I know,
That
yeah,
would be fun.
he visits the program at Sunita Williams all the time. The
Mhm.
kids love it. Yeah, that would be great. Let's plan on that.
Okay.
Any other new business? Well, I want to give Lynn a chance to ask any questions if you have any, having sat through a meeting. Anything?
No, it sounds like you've got a lot of wonderful programs reaching out to all different parts of the community, which is awesome. It's definitely wonderful. And I was just going to ask about the diversity initiative. So is that something fairly new in Needham?
I can't remember the year that it started, maybe at least 5 years ago or so. So it's
Definitely before the pandemic.
Yep. So
Okay.
if you Google Needham Diversity Initiative, you can see their website, and they, support, all sorts of diversity. We're coming at it from our perspective. So often we talk about race and gender diversity, but ability also should be included.
Yeah. Okay.
You can sign up to get on their mailing list for free, and so it's a great thing to do if you're interested.
Okay. Thank you. No, it sounds like you've got a lot of great things going on, and it'll be interesting, to learn more from Felix about, I don't know that much about what the rules and laws are as far as building and codes and things, but it seems like there's a lot that can be done, and it sounds like that study that was done recently helps to prioritize some things, which is great. So thank you all for letting me sit in. Appreciate it.
Glad to have you here.
Yes.
Okay, I think with that, we will close and we next meet on May 16th. Back to
Okay.
the third Tuesday of the month.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you all, and
Great.
we'll see you then.
Okay, bye, everybody.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.